I was wondering, aren't we getting any signal from the tour vehicle? We are, but it's ambiguous and very faint. It seems to be close by, but I'm unable to establish its exact location. So, you'll need to find it on your own. Fine. I'll take a look around. Good. We don't really know why we were lured here. Lured? You don't mean? Look. It's the technician we're talking about. An unstable, frustrated, resentful version of us. Whatever survival strategy he's boiled up, we'd better have a heads up. The only way to guarantee that is to locate that vehicle. Maybe they left some analog tracks? Just be careful. I should look for the rebels. Who knows where they went?
You do know we're running out of radiation filters?
Any progress with finding? Hello?
Jan? What a relief. We thought we'd lost you.
Yeah, so did I. The base got caught in a huge sandstorm. And I lost part of my crew.
What? Your altars? How could you let that happen?
Simple. I let you sweet-talk me into all that biological vessel business. Unfortunately, they had a problem with it. So, they decided to go their own way.
You mean they ran away? And they're exposed to radiation?
They took the exploration vehicle and some supplies.
Tell me not all of them left?
No. Why?
The ship is close, Jan. You have to be ready for the arrival of the rescue team.
Ready? How?
They can't find out about your altars.
What? Wait a minute. Aren't you the head of mining operations? Aren't these your people?
They might answer to me, but their paychecks are signed by Ally Corp. And if you confront them with your altars, they will have to react. The board will not tolerate anything that could cast even the slightest shadow on the legitimacy of this operation. And the rescue team is on their leash. Do I have to spell it out to you? They will have your altars killed.
What? Killed? What kind of a rescue team are they?
They're a special ops unit. Military men.
You could have told me earlier.
Please, Jan. You always knew their primary mission was to escort the most precious cargo mankind has ever seen. Did you really expect them to arrive unarmed?
So you lied to me. That you'd prepare them.
I told you I'd test the waters, and that's what I did. But there is a lot of pressure on your success, Jan. A lot of anxiety amongst the top management. They can sense the vultures hovering around them, waiting for any sign of a slip-up. And they won't let them smell blood. They won't expose themselves.
So what exactly is your plan?
The rescue team will arrive shortly before sunrise. You have time until then to come up with a way to smuggle your alters on board. In the meantime, you need to keep collecting rubidium.
Yeah, sure. Once we take off, what happens then?
You will all go into cryosleep, and as the ship approaches Earth, Lucas will take remote control over it and modify the coordinates. The ship will land in a secluded location I've been preparing.
Good move.
Thank you. I have a lab ready, and a guarantee of immunity from people who understand. I'm moving operations to a more science-friendly region, somewhere Ally Corp won't get to us. And, most importantly, where nobody will ever find your alters.
You're putting them in a lab?
I won't sugarcoat it. We've come too far together for that. If you wanted to hate me, I probably gave you enough reasons by now. Truth is, when I first heard about you, your situation, I'd be lying if I said it all came together immediately. On the contrary, I didn't hope for much. An accidental castaway with no qualifications, all alone, burdened with such a responsible task. But when Lucas told me you did it, you created your alter and managed to convince him to cooperate with you, I couldn't help but fantasize about where this could go. Can't you see? I've been waiting for something like this ever since they shut down Project Ela.
You never stop dreaming about reviving it.
You wouldn't be so surprised if you knew what we could achieve.
By altering mine records? What exactly were you up to?
We were exploring unconventional methods of helping war veterans suffering from PTSD. Instead of teaching them to cope with traumatic memories, we wanted to eradicate and replace them with positive ones. The idea was to prove that there are no different rules governing the mind and the body. Both can be treated by replacing a broken part with a healthy one.
And did you succeed?
We were close. But even if we had been allowed to finish that stage of the project, I had much bigger ambitions. But take, for example, the possibilities of re-socializing criminals by altering the experiences that led to their corruption. But why not go even further? Why should we limit ourselves to thinking only about altering the past? Why not be able to influence the future?
What? How?
The Tree of Life. You've seen yours, but it's just a projection, a rudimentary interface. Think about it. What if it was no interface, but an integrated part of the human mind, allowing us to live our lives exactly the way we should?
The way we should? What? You mean, make the right decisions?
Exactly. The human cognitive system enhanced in a way evolution failed to do in millions of years.
Wow, that's amazing.
More than that. Imagine a world where nobody ever takes the wrong turn. Children are never harmed. There are no court misrulings because there is no crime. Greedy and corrupt individuals never come to power, and because of that, wars never break out. Can you see now why your success meant so much to me? Do you not understand that giving rubidium away for any other purpose would mean robbing humanity of its biggest evolutionary leap since we crawled out of the primordial soup? Do you still think there is a better purpose for your altars than to contribute to all that?
I'll never give them away for experiments, no matter how grand your vision is.
I understand you've grown attached to them, and your impulse to protect them is touching. But I don't intend to harm them. All I'm asking is several weeks in a lab where I can run some tests on them, collect data, and prepare for the bigger leap.
And then what? You let them walk free?
You know I can't do that. It would be too risky for both of us and for them. But I could guarantee them a comfortable life. They would be hidden from the eyes of the world.
Imprisoned.
The only alternative for them is to be disposed of by the corporation, like waste. I think you need to take a breath. There's a lot to think about. How to smuggle your altars aboard that ship, for one. But first, you have to guide their navigator to your exact position. They'll need you to mark the spot with a beacon. Start with that, and then I trust you'll figure out what to do next.
Yeah, sure. By the way, I wasn't an accidental survivor.
What do you mean?
The quantum computer chose me. Seems I was the one who had the biggest chance of making it.
Well, doesn't that just prove my point? We are capable of so much more than we think, Jan. All we need to do is open the door and let that potential in. You'll hear from me again before the ship lands. Good luck, Jan.
I can see you're gloomy. Do you really want to waste time dwelling on that? Isn't a sad person less efficient than a happy one? Let's try to find something to cheer you up, for the sake of the mission. Well, look at you, talking about efficiency. I appreciate a good success story. It's inspiring to read about someone who achieves something great despite life's obstacles. Wow, nice to hear you're rooting for others. All I said was that I appreciate a good story. Don't make a cheerleader out of me. Hey, can you hear me? Loud and clear. Waking up from cryosleep, achy back, buzzing sound in ears. Piercing headache. I'll have to recommend more humane methods for the, what the hell? Just take it easy, I can explain. I knew there was something rotten going on. So this is what they're really doing. Replicating people. For efficiency. Relax. You're confused, I get it. And that's totally fine. What are you? A friendly welcome bot? Don't worry, I'll explain everything. Just be so kind and answer a few control questions for me, okay? I'll only answer to a human being. Where's the captain? Please. What is your name and role on this mission? My name is Jan Dolsky. I'm a representative of the Joint Trade Union sent on this mission to make sure nobody is fucking with the people employed here. And you know what? My notebook is beginning to fill up fast. Finally, someone who can stand up for us and help explain this mess. What do you mean? There was a bad accident. All you're experiencing is a consequence of that. Accident? What accident? During the landing, I'm afraid the whole crew died. Oh, isn't this just getting better and better? The whole crew? Where's the comms room? I need to report this back to the Union immediately. I'm sorry, but access to the comms room is restricted. Really? Don't tell me you're calling the shots here. Someone had to make you, Mr. Lookalike. I want to talk to them. They should be told that it's illegal to use people's DNA like that. I only did what they told me to do. What? Who? The people from mining operations. They told me to make a copy of myself. Copies, actually. With Rapidium. No, you're lying to me. Rapidium is what we were supposed to... Besides, I'm someone important. I do things for people. Real people rely on me. Calm down. You're not the original Jan, but that doesn't mean you can't be important. You're right about us being different. That's because I altered my mind to make you. I don't have your history of fighting for people. That can be really useful here. This is just... No, it's not happening. You know what? You need two things to process this. Time and straight-up facts. You'll find everything you want to know in the mission logs. It better not be corporate propaganda. You can decide for yourself. Once you've read it, let's talk again. In the meantime, just make yourself at home in the base and meet the rest of the crew. Talk to people. Yeah, it might be wise to start with that.
I'm done here. Should I do this now?
Do you want me to help with that?
I finished my tasks. Want me to take care of this now? I'm done. Should I do this now? tracks. It must be the tour vehicle.
At least I know which way they went. Hey, how's it going for you?
I knew I was making a mistake. This is what you get when you trust them big six dipshits. Radiation hazard, mechanical failures, a deadly sunrise chasing the base. Why the hell did I agree to this? Oh wait, I never did.
Don't worry. They'll get us out of here soon.
Are you serious? I was just telling you I am never trusting those bastards again. Are you one of them now? Am I one of them?
We're wearing their uniforms, operating their equipment, and our lives depend on them. So, deal with it.
No. I've never been part of the system, and I won't change that now.
I know you don't like it, but Ally Corp is on our side. We should cooperate. They're doing their best to get us out of here.
Us? Or their more valuable assets? How naive can you be?
I thought you'd like to know that I ran into a completely new kind of anomaly. First thing that came to my mind was that it's some sort of a prism distortion. Really? What gave you that thought? Well, it behaved as if the reality around me suddenly split up into many different fragments. Wise of you to bring it to me. Any observations on interaction? Well, it didn't seem to do anything specific to me physically. No radiation. But it sure was messing with my brain. Felt as if I was in several different places at once. And way you might have been. Huh? You mean? Remember how I told you that anomalies are places where our world intersects with the interworld? Well, what you're describing suggests a distortion in which it comes into contact with not one, but many proximity planes. Entering it is likely to evoke a sensation of being in several parallel realities at the same time. Calling it a prism is accurate, because it refracts your consciousness into many simultaneous states. Neat. Who needs altering, huh?
Take it easy. It's just a sensation. You'd best not spend too much time inside them. Plus, I suppose it must make exploration very inconvenient.
Can I destroy them like the others?
It should be possible. You just need to locate all of its cores and take them down one by one.
All right. Thanks for the tip.
I'm not in the mood for chit-chat.
Would you like me to address that?